Hey guys, we're here. Today I'm playing Super Mario Land for the Game Boy. I recently did on stream a playthrough of Super Mario All-Stars plus Super Mario World, and it kind of got me thinking about this old Mario as well. I didn't play it on stream, but I figured, you know what, why not do a playthrough of it here? So, let's just jump right into it. This is one of my favorites from when I was a kid, and I will point out right off the bat that I may call some of these enemies the wrong name, because when I was actually looking up stuff for this, apparently those are not Goombas. Pretty much everything in this game is named something else, although actually a lot of the enemies in this game you don't see elsewhere. But what I would normally call Goombas, they're actually called Chibibos. Chibibos. So you might see me accidentally call them the wrong thing, but it's just kind of out of habit, because, I mean, they look like Goombas. They're apparently relatives of Goombas, though, so, I mean, it's close. Up here we have a 1-up. It's actually kind of interesting. They have hearts for 1-ups instead of 1-up mushrooms. They weren't a thing yet in this. We do have the Fire Flower, though, which, it's a Fire Flower, but the thing you shoot is actually called a Super Ball, not a Fireball. And these guys, they are not Koopas, they're Nokobans. I guess in the, I guess there's a 3DS version of this, maybe. And they're actually called Bombshell Koopas. So I guess for some of the later, if they ever did, like, later versions of it, they might have changed some of the enemy names just to be a little more consistent. But, I don't know. I'm used to calling them Koopas, but it is kind of weird because they do explode when you jump on them. These guys are called Flies. Surprisingly, they actually have a very normal name. I don't understand why everything else has to have a weird name, but they're just called Flies. Here we have the classic Starman, although it's kind of weird with this music, which is completely different from how all the other ones are later on. But it works all the same. You're invincible while you have it, so just plow on through. Grab all these coins. Now, an interesting thing about the Super Ball, unlike an actual Fireball, is that they can be used to pick up coins, and in situations like this, if I get, like, the right angle, you can use it to kind of, like, reach in there where you normally wouldn't be able to as Super Mario. Like, you could technically kind of, like, crouch and squeeze through, but there's actually some parts where you can see it's clearly meant to use the Super Ball to reach them. Now here we have two exits. You can either take the bottom exit, which just goes to the next stage, or the top one, which leads you to a bonus game, and actually you can see I'm off the screen right now. You can see my feet barely hanging in there. It ends as soon as you hit that column, essentially. It doesn't care where you are vertically. Now this little bonus game, it's just to grab extra lives or power up. You can stop Mario whenever, but the ladder's also moving along with them. So you might end up taking a different path. As soon as he encounters the ladder, he'll go up or down accordingly. You have no choice. But there we actually get 3 lives, which is nice. Into the second stage, there are 4 worlds total, 3 stages for each world. So it's a relatively short game. Now those are Boon Boon or Bun Bun, I guess, depending on how you want to actually pronounce them. And actually, I meant to show it off for the enemy, but one of the things you might notice with the Super Ball is that it doesn't actually act like a regular Fireball, like you know in the later on in the series, where it, you know, bounces just on the ground and kind of stays horizontal to where you fire it. This actually just straight up just bounces and can just go right off the screen. And honestly, coming back to playing this game, at first I thought, oh man, I completely forgot about that. I don't really like that. I'm so used to the actual fireballs, but in situations like this, it actually can be useful that it bounces up the way it does. So if you plan accordingly, it actually works for this game. So I very quickly changed my mind about how I felt about it, even though I'm so used to the regular fireball. It works fine for Super Mario Land. So use it to your advantage. Use the fact that you can actually, like, diagonally aim up. But I will say it is kind of annoying that you can only have the one on screen at any given time. And if you fire it off, it's like I have to wait for it to either hit something or fly off screen before I can fire another one, which can get you hurt or killed. So just kind of be aware of that. It's like I can't shoot again on these guys until it comes back, so don't just fire willy-nilly, I suppose. Got some falling blocks. Now, this is how they normally intended you to enter the door, is actually standing in the actual doorway itself. Not off screen, but, I mean, whatever. Another bonus, we'll shoot for 3. I pretty much just always shoot for 3 and just kind of hope the ladder doesn't mess me up. If it moves me, whatever. It's not the end of the world. Now, don't go too far ahead on the screen here, because right off the bat, there is a little secret here, and just make sure I don't go too far off screen. I'm just going to go ahead and get on this now. This will push you up through the ceiling, and just like in Mario 1, when it's kind of like, oh, you discover you can actually be in the top of the screen, you can do that in Land as well, which lets me kind of get some coins up here, skip the crap down below. It's kind of neat. It always feels neat when you feel like you're breaking the game, even though it's completely intended. Now, these guys, you think that they're just piranha plants. They're called Pakun flowers, or Pakun. I guess they're actually called piranha plants, I guess, in the 3DS version. So again, you might hear me call them something else. And if I can just, I don't think it's even on this one. It's not. I think it's the next one over. Now, my brother might appreciate this. These guys, they're called Gaos. G-A-O. Gao. Which is just kind of a stupid inside joke between my brother and I. It should be up here. There's another secret one. Carries you up so you can actually get to this pipe up here, which has some coins for us. Be careful when you're near the pipe to exit. Plenty of times I'll just accidentally run forward and leave when I don't mean to. Grab all the coins, and also get a 1-up over here. I don't think there's anything else in these. You do get points for breaking these, but I don't care about the score, so we're not going to bother. Now, you can take a couple of passes depending on what size you are, at least normally, but you can actually kind of do what I think is a little unintended. Grab some coins. You can actually wedge yourself. I'm kind of just rocking down and forward and kind of, not really sliding, but kind of forcing my way through. Now, I'm only doing this here just to kind of show it. It's not practical. I can also jump and try to, like, slide myself forward. It's, again, it's not... I don't think it's really worth it, but just kind of showing that it is possible. I think there's a certain rhythm you can do to it, too. You can get a little bit more pixels movement at a time. You can see some of those there. I actually move forward a little bit. More like a half step, not these little tiny, teeny steps. And is it worth it? Absolutely not. But I'm just showing that it is possible. Alright. All for some coins down here, as well as a power-up. And I actually learned from my playthrough of Super Mario World, I would have thought that this little hole down here was stupid, but if for some reason you hit this when you were actually Small Mario and a mushroom came out and it fell away, or you just didn't grab it, you'd have no way of actually breaking those blocks and you'd be trapped. So instead of having to wait out the time, you have that hole down there you can actually just jump down just to reset your life. Something that I assume then the developers actually thought of. Just like it was pointed out to me in one of the rooms for Super Mario World, which has you go down a pipe and then there's a key in a keyhole, and then a hole you can fall down. Now here we have the boss, King Totomesu. You can either kill him by reaching the switch he's guarding, or hit him with 5 super balls, not fireballs. I could get closer, or I could just angle it off the wall here to like that. Hit him from pretty much safety. You can actually hear the music is getting faster because we are under 100 seconds. And then this was the switch. You could have tried to run underneath him, or just plow through with a power-up. Just like when fighting Bowser, you grab the axe. It would kill the boss. In this case, it doesn't make the actual floor underneath him fall. He just explodes from it, I'm pretty sure. But if you got the Super Ball, you can just shoot him. Oh, Daisy, Daisy! It was actually just a fly. Instead of it being a toad trolling you, it's Daisy, but it's actually just an enemy in disguise every time. Yep, got lucky again, got 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the second world in this video. Now this is probably my favorite world because when I think of this game, this is the music I think of. It's so upbeat and just, I love this track. It's so good. It also makes me think of, oh, these enemies here. What are these enemies? These guys are Honhen, kind of the precursor to the skeleton fish, like in Super Mario World and beyond. Also, we're in World 2 now, which is, did I even mention the first one was Birabuto Kingdom, and then the second world here is Muda, M-U-D-A Kingdom. But, again, when I think of this game, I think of this world, this music, and it also brings me back to when we actually played this a lot as kids. Obviously, for car rides and everything, it's great, but I have a very distinct thing that I think of when I think of, and play these old games, is it was somewhere, I don't even know where it was at. It was this place our mom used to go to for, like, I guess, was it for massages or, like, tans? Like a sunning tan, like a tanning booth thing? I can't exactly remember what it is. I think it was just for, like, massage. But, they always had these sectioned off rooms, and these, like, tall beds with a lot of space underneath. Enough, room that we as kids could fit underneath there. And so when she would take us for her appointments, we would bring our Game Boy, and we'd often just be down underneath the bed, just hanging out, and playing. It kind of just was nice, because then we kind of kept quiet, stayed out of the way. You know, and as kids, you kind of have fun doing that kind of thing. It's like, oh, I'm hiding underneath the bed. It's almost like all we needed was some pillows and like blankets and some cushions, and we could have made like a little fort down there or something. I don't know. Skip by some of the enemies there. Besides the bonefish guys, you had, I think, the one that shot at us, that like seahorse thing that came up. Those are Urarin Boo. There's a regular Urarin, which is the ones that we'll find underwater. These ones here specifically, they actually shoot at you. You can either jump on them, or I think only for the underwater ones, you can shoot them with the Super Ball. I think it does nothing here. So interestingly, there are some enemies that you actually can't kill with the Super Ball. You have to jump on them. Whoa, I almost fell in the water there. There we go. And we're kind of we're half on there. You can see my arms and my feet. Gonna go for the 3 again. Oh, this time, oh, we got shafted. You actually get that sound because we're already powered up Mario, but you don't get anything for it. Now those are Mechabons. They shoot the top halves of themselves, and they kind of like they kind of boomerang around and then back to themselves. It's kind of weird looking. Now usually I'm trying to shoot these guys with the Super Ball because if you shoot them, they don't explode. Jumping on them sets off the bomb, which when you can get out of the way, but it's just safer to kill them from a distance instead. See, there you go. Now they're doing the thing where they shoot their heads off. Now, you might wonder, how do we get down here? There's actually an invisible... Now, I'm on, like, the 1 square, and there's an invisible path underneath here. Now, this one is actually a little more worth to squeeze underneath, and I don't have to do it for, like, nearly the whole way. Obviously, if you were small Mario, that would be a lot easier. But here, I'm just gonna kind of shimmy my way because there's no enemies... Well, I say there's no enemies. There's less enemies down here. I think just in general, and there's some coins for us to grab. Can I actually, yeah, I can break that, but there's no point. There we go. It's almost like I just, you know, that's what I need to do. I need to just spam it. I think it just goes faster when I do it like this and I mash the controller. Also, it just looks silly. It amuses me. I don't think he'll fall down here with me. Again, not necessarily practical, but whatever. We get a Fireflower down here, though. Or at least a power-up. Presumably, they would assume, or they probably meant for that to be a mushroom, because they intended you for it to be small going in there. I think if... Yeah, then they fly off if you jump on them. That noise that they make is actually something that I always hated as a kid. I wouldn't say that it scared me. It was just, I don't know, unsettling. And you're going to see later on... Oh, well, there goes my power. You're going to see later on other enemies that do that too, that themselves are kind of creepy looking. Now you might think, well, how do we get up there? Well, oh, I missed the first one. Because there was another one earlier, and the block was actually on the right. Oh well. I forgot to check some of the pipes, I guess. It's fine. They're always just leading to coins. Which, speaking of the coins, there's something about this game where it's very satisfying to pick them up. And I think it's because, unlike the later games, where it was really only very few like bonus rooms where they'd have all those coins next to each other, so you pick them up quickly. In this, there's a lot of places where there's a bunch of coins always next to each other. I actually wanted the power-up. That's perfect. So you grab them in quick succession, and I don't know, maybe it's just feeding into that same kind of rush you get when it comes to, like, if you're in the casino and when you have the slot machines and you have all that the money sound that happens. Maybe it's tapping into the same thing, but like picking up the coins in quick succession in this, it's just very satisfying. Something about that sound and just like, oh, the money. Now here we get I'd say a flying shoot 'em up, but I guess technically we're underwater, but it's a shoot 'em up stage. And little did I know that this really was one of the things that influenced me early on at a young age, that later on in life would really kind of manifest how I became obsessed with shoot 'em up games, flying shoot 'em ups. Anything that's like this. Some of you guys will know I'm a huge fan of Toads, where my channel originally started, and I love playing bullet hells, and other shoot 'em ups in general, but just especially bullet hells. Now these enemies in here, the fish that are coming at me horizontally, those are Taurians. And again, we have the Uririn Boos and the Uririns. These guys are Gunyons, and like some other shoot 'em ups, they have death bullets. When they die, they shoot some crap at you. And here they kind of like got a little clever. It's like, oh, it spells out Mario. How neat. Oh, now I missed that one up, which was hidden in one of these blocks here. I always shoot the bottom portion and the top level of blocks, because it usually houses the power-ups and the lives. Now this guy is Dragon Zamasu, and his actual little thing flying is Tamao. It actually has a name, that big one that's flying around, but you can either beat this guy by shooting him with 20 of these torpedoes, and he makes this noise of just, sounds like a duck. Or you could have actually, during the fight, cleared the path while he's moving up and down and just gotten past him and then touched the switch. It would also kill him, but it's better to just shoot at him. It's not like you wouldn't have the ability to shoot if you were small Mario in this. You know, it's not like you're missing your Super Ball. So, just kill him first. It's safer. Oh, Daisy, Daisy! For some reason in my mind, I always thought it said, oh, Daisy, Daisy, saying her name twice. It must have just been me doing that in my head. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut this here. Again, this is not a very long game, but I wanted to break it up a little bit at least. So, there's 2 more worlds to go. I did 2 in this first one here because the first one's kind of straightforward. So, I'm going to go ahead and leave it on the screen for you guys to enjoy this music. But in the next video, we'll go ahead and tackle World 3. So, I'll see you then.